that would completely annihilate Intel for like 2 generations. AMD has that technology now, and they're not giving it to you. I don't know. I think it would be exciting on paper, but it wouldn't do anything for gaming because of the lowest hanging fruit policy. It's like if you take a 7800 X3D, here's your tree, right? Here's your fruits. Kind of looks like a penis, but unintentional. Why does my brain always draw penises, man? No matter what I fucking draw on paint, it always ends up being a penis. I really gotta go through like some psychiatry for that shit. It's like if they add the lowest hanging fruit, this one here, the fruit at the bottom is the fabric speed and the dips and all that shit. Right? It's like the what's the point of adding another CCD with cache on it if the CPU has issues loading textures fast enough to where it hits your FPS down, right? Now I don't know how they would do it, but if they somehow made the cache not mirrored, do you know what I'm saying? Effectively doubling the cache. Who knows what kind of engineering fucking wizardry they would need to make that, but that would be fucking exciting because now they doubled the fucking cache, right? Usable cache by both CCDs. They didn't mirror them and kind of make it 2 8 cores in one socket. They made it 16 cores with access to all the cache from both CCDs. That would be fucking sick. Now all of a sudden that might hit this lowest hanging fruit of the dips and shit. It might hit it now. Now it doesn't have to dump old cached data. It can just hold on to it because it has so much of that shit, right? What if they removed the 3D cache and just put a fucking HBM chiplet on the side? Why not? And then that way the core chiplet isn't thermal throttled by the cache on top. Make it a 2.5D instead of a 3D, right? And make that fucking HBM massive, dude. You know what I'm saying? With like an interposer or some shit. Obviously the cost of the CPU would fucking skyrocket. Clearly. But that would be mega exciting. So there's multiple ways they can skin that cat. But let's be real. Let's be real. You're going to get the exact same shit. Let's be frank. And you know why you're going to get the exact same shit? Because tech tubers suck AMD's PP. OMG fastest, no power draw, herpa, derpa. The usual tech tuber shit. So why would AMD innovate or give you anything other than the bare minimum? Why do you think they keep... Dude, they're using the same fucking IO die since Zen 2. It's just node shrunk. They haven't increased the fabric speed since Zen 2, brother. Put it that way. We've gotten 200 megahertz. When did Zen 2 come out? And people think AMD is going to innovate. They used GCN for 10 years, man. They're going to use Zen for as long as fucking possible with no effort. This is the way. What is Zen 2 launch date? 2019. So we've had the same fabric speed for 5 years. Zero innovation. Zero. AMD's innovated 0% in 5 years. You ain't getting none of this shit until mainstream tech tubers stop sucking AMD's dick. That's basically what it is. The technology is right here. You can get a fucking 3D chiplet or even no 3D. You can get both. You can get a 9800X 3D with an HBM thing with a fucking interposer. And AMD, so AMD already has the technology to give you the fastest gaming CPU right now. By far. And like that would completely annihilate Intel for like 2 generations. AMD has that technology now, and they're not giving it to you. I don't know why they don't. See, the interesting thing, check this out. This is a problem AMD has in general. They won't take the risk on the high end. They just won't do it because every time they try or come close, they get burned, which is problem number 1. Now, why they get burned is a different story. I'm not sure. AMD buyers are broke. That's possible. The brand is not trustworthy for high end. That's possible too. Basically, anytime they try to give you something real good, nobody adopts it. So that's why they don't take the risk on that shit. Now, I think they could on the CPU end of things now. I think Ryzen and Zen has a positive enough brand name to where they could release an extreme edition of some sort, like a 9800X 3D extreme edition. Make it $1,000. I bet you people would buy it. If it was like 30 to 40% faster with no dips whatsoever and it just worked, I think they could. We're in a purgatory, is the word I want to say, of game developers and hardware. Number 1, recession. Everyone's broke as fuck right now. Which the mass, like the majority of people. No, so you can't, the better engines also isn't the answer, right? Here's the reason why. We're in a recession. No money to buy shit. Game devs are incentivized, my spelling might be off, to make their games accessible. It's not like Crysis back in the day, right? That I want to make a League of Legends type of game that can run on a 1060 or a PS4 where Timmy can have some fun. That's my objective as a game developer, right? Making a game right? Just keep that in mind. In order for hardware to progress, we need games that take advantage, right? We need a game like Crysis that's so fucking, it also has to be, it can't just be hard to run, because back in the day when Doom 3 just came out or Crysis just came out, the visual advancement of those games was so fucking extreme that it was like, this is the future. And when you launched that game, you got excited for the next gen of hardware to come out so that you could go back and play that game. I'm not sure how old you guys are, but that's how awesome hardware was back then. Dude, when Doom 3 came out, I'll never forget this. When Doom 3 came out, the original one, and you turned on the flashlight and you pointed the flashlight towards like the hell soldier's like face, I was at like 13 FPS, and I'm like, this is the future. I'm like, oh my god, I was playing that shit at 13 FPS because it was so fucking sick, right? It was so sick. Why do you think Nvidia keeps making all these new features up? Ray tracing, frame generation, DLSS. They're creating their, because game developers can't take the risk either. Nobody's taking the risk. Only Nvidia is, right? And what do you know? They're fucking getting paid for it. Oh, riddle me that shit. The company taking the most risks is the one profiting the most. Oh my god, novel fucking concept, right? But Nvidia are creating their own gimmicks and problems and then selling you the solution next gen. Nvidia is going so far, and they're going back to game developers and programming their shit into their games for them to be able to sell their hardware. That's how far Nvidia goes to sell you some new shit. You know what I'm saying? That's how far they go, man. And they deserve all the profits and rewards that they get because they're the only company that's innovating. They're the only company taking risks to give you something new, right? So anyway, no one is taking any risks anywhere in the pipeline. Nobody's taking any fucking risk. AMD's not going to give you a 6 CPU. They can't take the risk. Intel's not going to give you a 10 or 12 P-core CPU with no E-cores because they can't take the risk of alienating their like OEM market, like Dell and shit. Can't take the risk. It's like all these fucking layers of all these motherfuckers not taking the risk, dude. Except for Nvidia. Half-Life Alyx. What do you know? What's another company that always takes risks? Valve. What? You seeing a fucking trend here? Pro tip to all you massive Valve. To be fair, Valve does take a long time, but they take those fucking risks. Valve, always taking risks. Nvidia, always taking risks. The Steam Deck. You know how successful the Steam Deck was? Nintendo, always taking risks. Most profitable. It's fucking right there, man. What do these three companies have in common? They're always giving you a new experience. Always. They're always innovating. They're always making something new. They're not scared. What do you know? Now, taking a risk does not mean do what AMD did with the 7900 XTX, where they took a risk. They put chiplets, like they put like the memory dies, the cache dies, Infinity Cache. They put that on the outside on chiplets. They took a risk, but if you know it's dog shit, you don't launch it anyway. So that product, the 7900 XTX, they should have tested it internally and been like, this is worse than RDNA 2. Literally, for power draw. It's that dog shit. It's like, hey, we swung and we missed this time. Let's backport all this technology and just make it monolithic again. We can do that fairly quickly and we'll launch that one. We'll try again next generation. Rocket Lake, same fucking thing. Intel took a risk with Rocket Lake. It's dog shit. They still launched it anyway. I don't think Intel ever recovered from the Rocket Lake debacle. Just don't launch it. Go back to the original Super Mario on Nintendo. Then Mario 2, Mario 3, Super Mario Bros. On SNES. What was the next one? Mario 64. Right? And then the one with the water jetpacks or whatever. Mario jetpack shit. I don't remember that one. And then Mario Galaxy. Every single Mario that comes out is drastically different than the one before it. Zelda's. What is Nintendo always gives you? They make it just similar enough, but they also give you something new since the fucking 80s, dude. Every time you buy a Mario game, it's gonna be just different enough.